Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Ascension's Love with Alice. Welcome to the Isis Dream Temple, where this video is going live. So, I had the question. Actually, I get this question quite a bit. So it's about time that we did a video on it, I think. Let's talk about sex. Okay. So, on a spiritual level, as consciousness is expanding, as we are expanding, as you are expanding, as we are all expanding into our gorgeousness, our alignment, our consciousness, and we are becoming more and more connected, more and more sovereign, more and more in alignment with who we are, the truth of who we are, and then how we want to actually have relationships and engage with one another. The old paradigm of relationships would be very fear-based, right? You know, you'd have two people enter a relationship and it would usually be quite short-lived. It would usually be quite fear-based. It would usually be quite egotistical, maybe hedonistic, right? In many ways, it'd be very, very physically based, right? Which is always very exciting in that moment. And I'm sure many people have experienced that and enjoyed that. But what is actually happening is missing out on such a deeper level of connection. So we're going to talk a little bit about what happens when we connect intimately with another person. And then we're going to look at what happens when we do that in alignment with love for the other person, and when we do that out of alignment with love, more in alignment with physical need, okay? Or physical desire, I should say. So whenever two people are close together, and this is before they've even connected, touched, anything like that, but when two people are near one another, and they don't actually even need to be near one another, we can start to feel and connect with other energies, right? This is how telepathy works. This is how various things work. We connect with energies. We are tuning into a frequency and a vibration. When you are moving closer and closer together with someone, you start to feel the energy field of this person and the energy field of this person. They start to overlap, okay? So before you've even touched another person, if you are close to someone and they're carrying XYZ energy, or you're carrying XYZ energy, you'll start to feel that, right? You know, when you kind of go near someone and you think, oh, you know, they feel like they've had a bad day, or, oh, you know, there's something that just makes my hair stick up on end, you know, gives you goosebumps and stuff if you're out walking late at night or something like that. You know, so we start to feel other people's energies. Now, when we actually touch one another, the act of that touch, connecting skin to skin, and this doesn't have to be intimate at this point, we're going to get there, but connected skin to skin, you are transferring energy. So if you're someone who's going around shaking a lot of hands, right, or hugging a lot of people, or anything like that, you know, you are exchanging energy with the people that you're doing that with. Now, it's one thing to do that if your heart is fully open, fully aligned, you've done a lot of healing. It's one thing to do that when you're in that high-flying vibration. It's another thing to do that when you're maybe not as stable in that high vibration, right? Because what does happen is there is that energy transference, right? So when we... Have you ever felt have you ever had that moment where you perhaps have seen someone that maybe you didn't feel great feelings for? Maybe they're a family member. This often happens with family members, and it feels like it's obligatory to give them a hug, and you just really don't want to, and then you do, and then you feel depleted afterwards. It's because there's an energy transference that's happened. There is a misalignment within both parties, because there is that ruptured energy cords, right, between one another. You know, cords of love have been ruptured as experiences have happened and occurred, right? When we connect with someone intimately, that energy transference goes to a deeper level, right? Especially when you are connecting with the pelvis area, right? Any connection with the pelvis, whether you're a man or a woman, doesn't matter. When that sacred area, because that is where life comes from, for both men and women. Life comes from that space. It's sacred. It is the entrance to the womb of no thing, to the mother's womb, right? It is the inspiration and the life force from the male as well, right? That life force energy from the lingam, and that creation energy from the yoni. So when two beings merge together, If there is any, actually, let's look at it this way. If you and your partner are both feeling that love, that desire, that expansiveness, then when you connect, it's beautiful, it's blissful, it's orgasmic, it's expansive, right? It transcends physicality, it connects emotionally, it connects mentally, it connects spiritually, it all connects, right? And it expands that divine masculine energy, divine feminine energy, regardless of your genders, right? Because we all have both those energies there. So when you're in that alignment, you have one energy of one divine being, another energy of another divine being merging together to create that third beautiful energy, right? But most people aren't there yet, right? That's what we are striving for, and that's what we are healing through. So when we connect in that, in a sacred way, in an intimate way, and this isn't about saying, if you're a female, don't go and do this. This isn't about shame or anything like that. This is about actually empowerment and releasing that shame. And feeling very empowered to do as you feel aligned and you making that discernment. But if you are connecting, if we connect with someone and it's out of lust, which is fear-based, it's not love-based, right? It's from a lack, a scarcity point of view. That's what lust is. From a physical level, from a need, a want, a space to fill, a void, a dopamine hit, a serotonin hit, one of those things. If that is what the connection is, then when you connect with another person on that intimate level, you're exchanging energy with them, you're exchanging and taking on whatever energy and karma they have. So if they're entangled with another person as well, so if they're already in a dynamic or a relationship, they're carrying their partner's energy also. And then you absorb it all, right? And then you feel maybe great in that moment, right? But then the next day or the day after, it kind of like you feel this draining, this depletion energy, because it's not been in alignment with who you really are, with the source within you, right? And as I'm saying this, take what resonates and leave what doesn't, right? For some people this will be really triggering, and for some people it'll just be like, oh, that's what that is, So if it's truth to you, take it as truth, and that's great. If it doesn't resonate, it's okay to click off this video, right? Whenever we do anything that is out of alignment with love, and this can be anything, this doesn't necessarily have to be intimate connection. This could be if you are, for example, if you take drugs, right? Or if you have a drink and it's not in that aligned state, if it's a continuous thing, right? What that actually does is it fragments that energy field, that auric field, right? It fragments your energy, and then it leaves a perforation in your aura, right? That then we need to go back and heal, and especially when it's with a partner, if you are merging with someone and it's not in alignment with love, what that can tend to do then is it is imprinting within your yoni, within that lingam, that sacred space. It's imprinting a wounded foundation, right? Which is like a hook. And then when we do quantum healing and things like that, we are helping someone do soul retrieval and heal and bring back parts of themselves that have been exchanged and have gone off somewhere, right? Now, how do we heal this? So if we are someone who feels like, because the thing is as well, like your yoni, your lingam, we store a lot of trauma in that space as well. All the trauma is stored there, really, because it's creation. That space is creation. So all the trauma is stored there. So whether you've, and there, like I say, there is no shame and no judgment, but just from a energetical, spiritual understanding, right, as to what's happening and how to kind of bring that energy back and reclaim it. If you are someone who has had multiple partners and you are wondering about this, there are practices that you can do to reinstate that love feeling within yourself, within your own heart space and within your own womb. Whether you're genetically a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, because we all have that womb space, and that heart-womb connection is very, very strong and powerful. So if you, for example, do feel depleted from either a past relationship or because of whatever reason, right? Could be any reason, whatever reason. there are a few things that you can do. So one of them would be start looking at yoni steams. If you do not have a yoni steam and you want to know where to get a good blend from, let me know, I can point you in the right direction. Or you can actually just collect a few beautiful herbs like lavender and things like that. A yoni steam is essentially what it sounds like, is it steams and cleanses and initiates that area through the water, through the element of water and steam, and the beautiful elements of earth via the crystals, the oils, or the plants that are in there, right? So that helps unlock emotion, right? That's been stuck there. You can start to practice sacred sexuality practice, right? You can start to use a jade egg, a yoni egg, right? For me personally, that's how I started my healing process, was to work with my creative sexual energy with a yoni egg, right? And, you know, start to rebuild the relationship with that sacred space and the power that she has, you know, and start to cultivate that in unconditional love. You know, I speak to my yoni space, I ask her consent every time, you know, and when we work with a yoni egg, and that especially, you know, if it's nephrite jade, I personally work with golden obsidian, but whatever crystal you have, it will help to heal that space and any trauma that may be there. So if you, for example, go to bed one night with a yoni egg in, your dreams may start to help resolve any karma and any trauma that you may have there without realizing. You know, you can use the power of orgasm as well to call back parts of yourself, as long as you are calling in that beautiful divine masculine light, that beautiful energy to hold the space for you, and bringing up the Shakti, that gorgeous energy as well, right, to merge in your heart space and connect and flow through you, because that's what Shakti is, that's what Kundalini is, right? That life force energy will move through you and unblock whatever it needs to unblock, right? And release it, and then we process it, we cry, we move our body, we exercise, we do whatever we need to do. We can start to maintain a sacred connection with ourselves, right? So I kind of already alluded to this with the when I spoke about the yoni egg. Most people think of yoni eggs as like, you know, Kegel practices, but it's much deeper than that. Is much deeper than that. But you could also start to cultivate the relationship with yourself as well. There is nothing shameful or wrong or anything about that. Actually, it's the most sacred part of a person's body, of someone's body, man or woman. It's the most sacred part, because once again, the whole of the universe is birthed through that space, right? So we are unwinding millennia of desecration, really. So when we get to know that space and when we start to cultivate a relationship with it, it can literally be something as simple as placing your hand on your womb, your hand on your heart, and just listening, just moving your breath from one space to another, and just letting that breath of life flow through you and connect, right? It can be as simple as that, right? Or you can take it further, as long as there is consent from that part of your body and tenderness and love, and you listen to the flow and the rhythm of your body and how she wishes to express, or he wishes to express, because there are more than just the physical aspects to us. There is the physical, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual. And the idea is, when we start to connect with sacred sexuality, we're merging all four of those, right? And when you do start to cultivate a relationship, and this is the thing, it's not going to be one of those things where we're like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with 3D, fear-based BS relationships, I'm going to go find a 5D one. No, you cultivate it. It starts with yourself, with your own practice, with your own healing. You start to redefine love for yourself. How you connect with one another starts with how you connect with yourself, right? It starts there. If you're already in a relationship, then, you know, you can still do this, right, in that current relationship. And you do that by starting to vocalize your feelings, your fears, your desires, you know, things like that. Start to vocalize, start to feel safe. We don't need to fix one another. We just need to be able to witness and hold the space for one another to heal, right, to express, to be, right? Knowing, just like the post that I put earlier on today, knowing that if someone is expressing in a way that isn't aligned with light, it doesn't feel aligned with light, like, the best thing that we can do, right, is to literally focus on their light so much and hold that space for them, because what they're doing is they are releasing and witnessing behaviors that they have built, their mental body has built to protect them. And when we can start to dialogue back and forth and hold the space without being triggered and reacting to the other party, to the other beautiful, beautiful soul we're in a relationship with, when we stop taking it personally and just start to kind of go, okay, what are you feeling? What's happening here, right? Let's work through this. It takes the relationship and the dynamic to a whole new level. Everyone wants to feel safe. Everyone wants to feel connected. Everyone wants to feel intimate with one another. But intimacy has so many layers. It's not just physical. And so many people strive straight for that, but it's actually the last place of intimacy that really we should be going for, right? There's mental intimacy, emotional intimacy, spiritual intimacy. When you start to connect with those as well, the physical intimacy will be more, it will be more than you've ever experienced, right? In any relationship that you've had. When you start to bring the divine from within you, because you are the divine, you are God, when you start to bring that, connect it from above, below, connect it in your heart, expand that light and connect that with your sexuality, which is, and if you ask any teacher, leader on this matter, even Abraham Hicks says this, the most spiritually aligned you can be is when your sexual energy is in pure divine flow, right? So when we start to connect to those other energies, the physical expression, you just can't put words to it. Okay. So I hope that this has answered some of the questions that I've received recently about what happens when you connect with one another. Is it right? Is it wrong? There's no right or wrong. You always do what feels aligned for you. Right? You do what feels aligned for you, right? There is no shame, there is no judgment, no one else's opinion matters. But if you want to understand the energetical nuances of what even just shaking a hand with another person does, right? Then this video is going to help with that as well, right? If you are wondering whether, the number of partners that you've had impacts your ability to be spiritual or to be aligned, no, it doesn't, right? What does matter is how willing you are to go and heal any of the traumas that you have, and we all are here with traumas. They are resistance. They are an absence of love. That's what trauma is. That's what wounding is. That's what resistance is. And we have them, like my other video said, on every layer, on mental layer, emotional layer, and physical layer, right? So if you are open and willing to feel the fear and surrender to it, knowing that you're going to be safe, right? Knowing that you're safe to feel that, and knowing that you will get through it and you will have more expansion when you do, that's what really matters, right? And the level of love that you allow into your heart, the level of looking within and connecting with self that you allow in, as within, so without, I keep hitting my mic and I'm like, oh, sorry. The level to which you love yourself is what will be mirrored back to you from another person, right? So the more you work on loving yourself and healing whatever is coming up for you, the more that is going to be seen outwardly as well, right? So then if you are in a relationship, or if you are to be in the future with someone, and there is a soulmate out there for everyone, right? Then if you've done the work, you will find that will be a very, very, very beautiful, expansive, blissful dynamic that will not be lacking in any aspect. Okay, so I send you all so much love. If you do have any questions, feel very welcome to ask, right? Feel very welcome to private message me if you have any topics you want me to go live on in a video. You can send me an email at ascension@aliceheath.com, or you can private message me. Okay, sending you all so much love. Thank you for listening. Mwah. Bye for now. Oh, and I'll see you on Monday if anyone is here watching, is attending Priestess of the Golden Age Part 2, Light Within. So that will be a very, very, very powerful event. The first one on the 6th was very activating in the most gorgeous way, in the most amazing, expansive way. And we can't wait, Melissa and I can't wait to bring Part 2 to you. So see you on Monday. For those that are attending, the event is in this group, and if you're watching this on YouTube, then the link is in the bio. Okay, bye for now.